Welcome back. How are you guys doing? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Toma Todito Show. And I just wanted to talk something that I find so curious. I wanted to talk about the comeback stories, right? We keep hearing about certain fighters coming back, and it's starting to become something big, right? Like the big noise around the Mike Tyson fight that was supposed to happen in September against Roy Jones Jr. That started taking over airwaves. It started taking over newspaper articles and TV shows and podcasts and you name it. The hype was real, and the fight is gonna happen. The fight's coming up November 28th, and I'm like, I start analyzing the comeback stories that we've heard of, right? Oscar de la Hoya all of a sudden promoting himself and going out and saying that he's going to come back, that he's planning a comeback, and he was actually scheduling, or he has some scheduled sparring fights coming up, and he was going to see where he was. He did actually have the sparring matches, and he said that he's still on par. He doesn't want to half-ass his comeback. He actually wants to come back and challenge meaningful fighters and take on meaningful fights at the moment. Now you look at this, and he's been gone since 2008. 2000 or 2009. When was his fight with Manny Pacquiao? 2008, 2009, since he last fought Manny Pacquiao. And he's been gone for what, 12 years? 13 years out of boxing, give or take. And he's planning on a comeback. What effect could Oscar de la Hoya have in the boxing world? I don't know. I don't know where he would fit. It hasn't worked in the past. Very few have actually been successful. George Foreman is the first one that comes to mind after taking a long layoff and coming back and having a successful comeback and becoming the oldest heavyweight champion at that when he dethroned Michael Moore. Other comebacks that come to mind: Sugar Ray Leonard, not the most successful. Who else comes to mind? Roberto Duran, I think, had some fights. Hector Camacho stayed in a little bit too long. So you see this happen, and it doesn't always translate to something positive, right? Nonetheless, we're looking at Oscar de la Hoya going out there saying that he is gonna come back, and when he does come back, that he doesn't want to come back for charity type fights or so, that he wants to take on all comers and meaningful fights. So he's been gone from the sport. I'm just looking it up here. He last fought December 6th of 2008. So I was correct, in 2008 against Manny Pacquiao, the debacle that was that fight. So he's been gone for 12 years, going on 12 years, right? When we hit December this year. I wish him the best. I've been a big fan of Oscar de la Hoya since I was a young child. I hope that he comes back and it's a successful one. Should he decide to come back? I don't know at what level. I mean, who can he possibly fight that where he would have such an effect? I don't know where he's at. I haven't seen any of his sparring matches, sparring videos. I don't think there's any out there from what I've come across. I would love to see what his capabilities look like. Another one that comes to mind here, recent comeback story, was Sergio Maravilla Martinez. He had a successful comeback in August of this year where he knocked out a fighter by the name of Jose Fandinho. His fight was in Spain. He knocked out Fandinho in the 7th round, and he has another fight scheduled, the second fight of his comeback, scheduled for December 19th of this year. So later this year, he will have his second comeback fight. And he looked good. He looked fairly good. A little bit slower. He definitely lost a step, but a lot of ring rust. The couple years that he took off away from boxing could definitely be a factor. And so he's taking his comeback lightly, but very serious. Or I guess he's taking his time with his comeback by selecting the right type of opposition. So therefore he's not taking it lightly. He's taking it serious, but he's picking the proper opposition and hoping that he'll align himself back into contention in the near future. He's driven, and you see his interviews a lot on Instagram. You see his interviews through Facebook Lives and chats that he does, and he's serious about this comeback. And then we have Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., who are going to be facing each other November 28th. Mike Tyson said that he's trying to create kind of like a Legends League, almost like Ice Cube creating that 3-on-3 where NBA players who are no longer in the NBA could still participate in Mike Tyson's ideas to create a Legends League. And this is probably more so where I would see De La Hoya fall into versus coming back full pro like Sergio Martinez is doing. But then again, you see Sergio Martinez doing it, and if you're Oscar De La Hoya, you're like, well, if he's doing it, I could do it. Again, the layoffs is the key, right? Sergio Martinez had a less of a layoff than Oscar De La Hoya has had. So I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I don't know if it's all talk. I don't know if it's all hype. I don't know if it's all publicity. But these were the three big stories that came to mind that I wanted to talk about. Who knows? I'll keep monitoring this this thing with Oscar De La Hoya, see if it actually does pan out into something. Doesn't look like it's going to become anything here this year in 2020. So maybe this will pan out in 2021 and become a reality, and maybe it'll come to an end, or maybe it'll be something real. And we'll have some historic nights to talk about, right? If he does make a strong comeback against a decent opponent. As for Sergio Martinez, I wish him all the luck in the world here in his upcoming fight in December. Let's hope he has another good showing, and let's see where this is gonna lead to. Maybe to a big name fight, or maybe to one of the smaller titles in the middleweight division. As for Roy Jones and Mike Tyson, what can I say? Everybody's excited about this. Wow. Why didn't it happen in 2003, 2004 when they were talking about this fight taking place? Very similar reach, very similar height, similar ages. There's a lot of upside to this fight. They're saying that it's going to be charitable, that it's going to be this, that it's going to be that. Listen, with these two professionals getting in there, I could see Roy Jones taking more of the charitable approach and taking more of the light approach to a match like this. But Mike Tyson, he doesn't play boxing. He's a fighter, and therefore Roy Jones has to be on top of his game when this fight happens. So come November 28th, as we get closer, I'll get more detail on this, and then I'll talk to you guys about it, see what I could come up with, see if I could have some exclusive for you guys. But yes, of course, we're looking forward to Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., right? The fight that never happened before is bound to happen now. It's around the corner, and I'm excited about that. So yeah, these comeback stories, it's crazy, right? To think that these fighters are trying to come back, and but good for them. Hey, listen, good for them. They were amazing fighters in their heyday, all of them that we've mentioned, amazing fighters, legendary fighters at that. And if they decide to make a comeback, a lot of people don't like to see this. I don't like to see this just because you're bound to get injured. These fighters are bound to get injured. They're bound to destroy the legacy that they built and they worked so hard for. But there's something eating away at them, and they want to come out. Listen, they want to come out and show their talents and show what they still got. Bernard Hopkins is another one that fought really late in his career, and he was really, really good. Again, he was a phenom, though, right? He took care of his body like no other. So we'll see. We'll see where this leads to, but I'll keep you guys posted if anything else comes up. Let's keep an eye on these comebacks. Tyson versus Jones is the first one to approach, or fast approaching, right? November 28th, and then Sergio Martinez, December 19th, against who's the opponent that he's going to be facing? Do we know? Let me see if I could find this for you. I believe it's going to be. Let me see if I could find this for you guys here real quick. I'm not sure if it's another Spanish fighter. Jussi Koivula is a fighter's name. Jussi Jussi Koivula. He is out of Finland, so he's a Finnish fighter out of Tampere, Finland, sitting with a record of 24 victories and 7 losses. So this is an appropriate fight for Sergio Martinez for his comeback. Looks like a live dog, but definitely not the top of the heap yet. So it should be a good, stay busy, tight fight for Sergio Martinez, and a good measuring stick to see where he's at in his comeback, and the type of opposition that he'll be willing to step up to in the future come 2021. So Jesse Koivula, December 19th versus Sergio Martinez, and that's another fight to keep an eye out on. And of course, Oscar De La Hoya with his big comeback news. Let's see if that becomes anything, or if it just fizzles out as time passes. So we'll talk to you all soon, and thank you guys again for tuning in to another episode of the Tomatolito Show. Talk to you soon. Bye.